So
So
yeah,
you're part of the European club, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The second type of activity is going to some local bar or restaurant with your section mates, and the third type of activity, like very often we go just to the place of some person with our section, and we have some, like, house party there. So it's, yeah, it's like some parties, um, some common activities, like trips. Also, we have lots of trips. If you think about it, HBS, like, I think every 2 or 3 weeks there is a group of students traveling somewhere in US, or maybe not US. People are traveling to Iceland, to Europe, um, like different locations. So if you want to travel, you can join easily and in group and make great connections.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I think that trips are a great way to meet people and to get to know people better.
Yeah, I mean, trips are mainly among the sections. So you have your small section of 90 people, and you have, like, the parties where you get close to each other, and then you have trips where you can connect with people from other sections.
I see. That's interesting. But then you get to travel quite a lot. Just probably the way you did when you were in consulting.
Yeah, I tried not to travel when I was in consulting, but yeah.
Okay, now you have to. I see.
Yeah.
Vlad, what do you think is your biggest learning from the Harvard MBA so far?
Um, yeah, I think the biggest learning, as I've said, was, um, I had probably like three learnings. Two of them are, corrected with curricula. I mm, um, I think I lacked some financial education and background, so I learned a lot about finance. My second learning was about leadership. I was always, trying to find the time to read some books on that topic and to structure my thoughts. HBS helped me a lot, providing with, like, tons of cases from various industries, like, of how people lead the companies. And, like, the greatest learning there is how people are ready to take risks. So, like, when you come to a company, like, as a leader, it's really difficult for you to take a risk. All the extraordinary cases about the extraordinary people we learn at HBS, it's about the leaders who took the risk and who made a change in the company. So I think, taking the leadership to make a change is probably my greatest learning of all that cases. And finally, I think great experience was networking. I think it depends on your, like, personal type. If you're like an extrovert or introvert, it depends on your background. But some people are really good at networking, some people are bad at networking. I think, like, job search at HBS and, like, different networking events, they really teach you how to organize that stuff, how to, write thank you emails, how to get connected with alumnus, how to chit chat on networking events. That's a great skill that develops here, and I think it will greatly help me in the future while making connections.
I think you also mentioned some time back in our conversations that Harvard changed your attitude to networking. That before Harvard, you thought that networking is kind of not really a waste of time, but not the necessary thing. And now you came to feel that it makes your life more pleasant, more interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, your, everything that you say should come, like, right from inside from you. You should be supernatural, and you should be naturally interested in other people, and that what helps you develop your connection. And that was, a great change of my mentality. I became much more interested in other people, in different experiences and in various backgrounds, mainly because here I realized how diverse people are. I learned that there are like lots of different viewpoints. They can all live together, and now I'm genuinely much more interested in other people and much more interested in like making connections and um, asking deeper questions and making this deeper connections. And it's interesting because you think of networking as something that is not that is not about deep connections, but the really great networking is when you get connected with some person and you try to manage this network for for some period of time. You get to know each other better, and then you really benefit out of that, or probably the other person benefits out of that. So it's like a mutual process.
And I guess the benefit is not necessarily monetary. It's also emotional, right? So you just get
Absolutely.
connected. Yep.
Absolutely, it's not monetary. It may be an advice. It may be some guidance or coaching. Especially when you get connected with some HBS alumnus, um, they are all ready to help. The response rate is really high. I mean, especially compared to like some alumni networks of big corporations, or even like consulting network. The response rate from alumni network is really high. Like I would say that 50% of people would answer your email. Um, First email, if you like, if you continue, you will have even a better response rate. They all agree to like to have a quick call with you to help you with an advice. So people are pretty much open because they remember um, themselves when they were HBS students. So they are ready to 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 share their experiences. That's really valuable.
That's interesting because what I heard previously about Howard is that people tend not to respond quite often. But interesting to hear the opposite story firsthand.
Yeah, we are right now doing a job search, and we can compare the response rate from consulting alumni networks and MBA alumni networks. I would say that MBA networks are much better. Yeah, and they work. And everything else depends on you. I mean, it may be just one phone conversation, and the person could just share with you his previous experience. But I mean, if you are trying to make this connection, you can make it work. You can make this connection long-standing. It only depends on you, and this is a skill that you have to learn here, and it requires time.
Yeah, it definitely does, I think. Vlad, so what you're telling about Harvard is amazing, but I was wondering if there's anything you would like to change about Harvard, or is it just all 100% amazing and 100% what you expected and above?
Yeah, I think the first months at Harvard are pretty tough because they try to front load. I think most of the most of the knowledge and most of the classes. So you have a tough schedule of classes in the beginning. You have lots of different activities. You have parties. You have lots of networking, and it's really hard to prioritize because you don't know. Like everything is so interesting, and you don't know what to select. There are like company conversations, like different career coaching, like, and everything is like is taking place at the same time. There are like tons of events that are conflicting with each other in your schedule, and you have like lots of preparation for classes because HBS is not it's not a vacation. It's a hard work. So for the first two or 3 months, it's really difficult to combine all that stuff. So probably I would like to have it more smooth. But definitely it becomes better later. So the work-life balance becomes better like closer to New Year, I think.
I see. So the key thing you would like to change, make it slightly better, is to smooth your curriculum so that the first couple of months are not that hard as they are right now?
It's not only curriculum; it's different events. Probably it's just like logistically they can do it because they have these events because people have to get to know each other. Then we have career sessions because we have to prepare for job search, and then we have to front load most the hardest cases and so on because like later we have less time because we will be applying for jobs. So maybe it should be like that. I have no answer, but MBA it's not about having a vacation. It's about having a hard job.
It's I think it's about learning new stuff and probably becoming a new person.
Definitely, but becoming a new person out of your comfort zone, I would say.
I see. Well, I think now I understand something about your Harvard experience. But let's switch gears a bit now and talk for a while about your personal finance, to the point you are comfortable, of course. And
Mhm.
here, my key question is whether you had to borrow a student loan, and if so, how are you going to repay it? Because I remember from my personal experience when I was going to Stanford, it was very difficult for me to find a suitable loan, and I basically had to borrow lots of money, and eventually I decided I wouldn't go. So I was wondering, what's the situation with you, and how are you looking at it?
Yeah, there are several things. First of all, you have a student